also the field position when a guy like you have like Bosch.
The coaching staff saw a couple changes this spring. You bring Rip Petrie back, you bring Mike Cassano back, you move Mike Barrow back to coaching the linebackers. But the one thing I know from being around a little bit is the dynamic seems great. These guys love working with each other. They're really happy with working with these kids. They're motivated to get things going. This seems like a great coaching staff right now.
It is, every time have an opportunity to improve, and we lost some good coaches that left the University of Miami, to better themselves, get other endowments. But you got to hire better. You always have to say, okay, what can I do to get better? What can we bring to the table? So that's what you do as a coach. You go out and say, okay, find a guy that can come in and that can be perfect with the coaching staff and the players, but also give you something that brings you in coaching. And I think with the two hires of Mike Cassano and Coach Petrie has really, really helped us out as a football team, and they'll be taking the next step with this football program.
One of the big topics this spring has been off the field. It's been your contract status. One, has there been any movement there, and do you feel confident that something's going to get done soon?
It's a lot of negotiations, been since November, back and forth negotiations and offer, counter offer, this, that. It's part of it, It's part of the trend. It's part of the things that you have to work through, and don't take it personal. It's got to be a situation where you understand that's how the business is, and you work through it, and you keep going, and you try to stay focused, and you make sure you're doing all the things that need to get done to better your team.
One of the things you always hear about the recruiting, we always talk about recruiting a lot when it comes to the University of Miami, and one of the things you always hear is, when a coach walks into a recruit's house or talks to a kid's family, they always want to know, hey, coach, are you going to be my coach the entire time that I'm here at the University of Miami? And you have to answer that question, and I'm sure as you've been on the road or you've been here and kids have come in to visit, I'm sure you've gotten that question from kids and from families, and how have you answered that question?
Well, it's been hard, not hard. It's been challenging. The word challenging because, I think we feel like we got a great class that came in. We filled all the needs on the team. And it was more of an aspect of the parents believing in you, believing in the coaching staff. And then you got to go out and recruit the high school coaches to make them understand how that you're going to be a part of the program. And some point in time, we have to go back and recruits go to some of the places that the high school coaches that I know very well. They have confidence in me that they know I'm a straight guy, straightforward guy, and I'm going to be honest with them. And a lot of times, a lot of other schools use that against us. And in some situations, it did hurt. But you know what? As a coach, you just got to find a way to make sure you get the right type of kids that's going to believe and trust in you, that you're going to be here for a long term. And once you believe and trust you, they'll come here and they'll be a part of a great program. And when it all said and done, they'll say, hey, Coach was really telling the truth about things that he sees for his future.
Tell the fans out there, we're going to have thousands of fans listening to this interview. Tell them out there about your vision, where you're at in your plan, and what you think of this team as we head into next season.
I think from 3 years ago when we was 5-7, everybody had doubts about what we was doing. But we had to build a team, and that's build a team through recruiting, the base work of building things up front. If you look at what we've been at and what we're at now, we got playmakers on offense. We built an offensive line on offense for long term. We got a defensive line now for long term. Now we're building the linebacker core for a long term. Everything we're doing is for a long time. It's not a quick fix. It's not trying to go out and say, okay, he's the best receiver in the country. Let's go get him when you got 9 guys already on the roster receiver. So those are things that you continually to develop. And if you can find a way, fortunate enough, we was able to get a young man, a 5-star defensive back that track has, and he has opportunity to come out and work with us as far as a walk-on and earn a scholarship in football. So those type of things that, players see that we're doing at the University of Miami. And then our numbers now. You look at our numbers, it's probably the first time that I've been here. Actually, when the roster starts, we will have 85 guys on full scholarship. And that tells you how much we've been working and trying to do all the things we need to get done. Do we have enough guys at positions now? Yes, we do. We got 7 tailbacks, 3 fullbacks, 6 tight ends, 15 offensive linemen. We'll have 3 quarterbacks. Defensively, 15 offensive linemen, 10 linebackers, and we'll have 12 DBs. So your numbers are finally where it needs to be, and they're all good players and all good athletes, and competition will be there. And I think that's the process of, from the fan standpoint, they want it now. I want it now. We want it now. But we're not going to do it now and go to the junior college route, go ahead and get a quick fix for maybe 1 year, and then now you have to go back and start rebuilding. I mean, we're trying to rebuild this for long term. As you can see, 5-7 to 7-6 to 9-4 each year we've gotten better. Next year we expect to be even better than that. And for the long term, if we can be at the University of Miami and get it back to where when I was a player and as a coach under a lot of great coaches, where you're there for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 years, of being at the top of your game, then that's what it's all about. Being number one or being the best for 1 year, that's great. But now, as a fan at the University of Miami, I think you always want to be in that position.
Last question for the fans, here in Coral Gables and Dade County, downtown Miami, up in Broward County and Miramar and Fort Lauderdale, across the state, even fans outside the state, Carolinas and Ohio and California. For them, how can they help you? How can they get involved and help this program succeed and get to where it needs to be? Because you're doing your job, the players are doing their job. What can the fans do to help this program get where it needs to be?
We really need the fan support to being down there. I mean, we've lowered the ticket prices. Me and Kirby Hocutt, the athletic director, I said we got to find a way to get the fans in. We've lowered the ticket prices to. We got a West End Zone now, which is great. Back like the old Orange Bowl, we've lowered those ticket prices to $199. We got a $99 seat section now. So we're doing everything to know we got to get the fans support in there. We talked about last year when Clemson game when we was 5-1, was ranked 9th in the country, and you get 40,000 people. We need the fans to be the 70 to 65,000 fans in that stadium when we have the Orange Bowl atmosphere, because it's 5-1, 9th in the country, and you get 40,000. Well, why not 65? Not less than make Clemson feel the pressure of the real University of Miami fans support it. And that's what we need, the fans to come to our game, support us. Florida State, we're going to have the fans there. I'm excited about that. We're going to have the fans against FAMU. The rest of the season, whoever we bring in this Orange Bowl, we got bring it to this new stadium, not the Orange Bowl, make them feel like the Orange Bowl atmosphere. And I think that's the biggest thing that we can have the fan support for us.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it. It's been a great spring. It seems like fall will be just around the corner, and you'll be running through that smoke, leading the team onto the field, and it's going to be a great time. We're all looking forward to it. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's the head coach, Shannon, the Beast, Brian Lennon, here at All Canes Radio.